Morning, folks. Jer here at The View. First things first, massive thanks to everyone that supported the channel yesterday. We saw a huge growth in the channel. We also saw a big bump in our views as well. So just a massive thanks to everyone that supports the channel. I really am humbled and grateful for everybody who watches the streams. I've also had too much coffee, so I'm going to try and slow down talking. I know I talk too quick anyway. So anyway, let's crack on. We're going to start off. We're going to talk about the Javi Gracia work permit situation. We're going to talk about the new additions to the backroom team. We're also going to talk about Rodrigo's injury, the Leeds ladies result, as well as some detail on the 49ers involvement in Gracia's appointment and the 49ers takeover, which I'll get to that at the end. We'll get to that at the end. So let's just start off and crack on. So Javi Gracia update. So first things first on his backroom team is Zigor Arnalde looks like he will join Gracia's backroom team as the assistant manager. Juan Solo is also expected to join the team. Arnalde has a track record of working with Gracia in the past. Solo has nearly, as the name Sola, has a history of working exclusively with Gracia. So that's nice to see it. There is an oddity in this. There's a new name in the hat that Gracia hasn't worked with in the past, and that is Mikel Anita. He has played with Gracia in the past in Spain, but hasn't actually worked with him. But Anita was part of Rafa Benitez's backroom team at Newcastle and was a defender as a player. So nice to see some defensive coaches coming in there as well. Badly needed. Badly needed. He's highly rated Anita, so that's all really, really good news. Han Solo, yes. Moving on, it's Juan Sola, because somebody will correct me at 6:30 tonight. You know, after doing all the research on Wikipedia, they'll tell me I'm wrong, so that's okay. All right, so it's okay. Moving on, let's talk about his work permit situation. So Leeds Live put out an article yesterday evening saying that there was issues with the work permit and this would cause problems. I find Leeds Live, outside of Baron Cross's stuff, I find Leeds Live pretty clickbaity most of the time. And what they've said in the article is it may be an issue. It possibly is an issue. Nothing definitive. So we've had a little look. The Athletic have done some work on this as well. And let's go through the criteria. The basics of this are there's no significant issue with his work permit application. That's the first thing and most important bit to get off the table straight away. And all of this comes from post-Brexit regulations that have come in. Basically, any country within the EU have what they call free movement of people and free movement of work around the European Union. Obviously, the UK left the European Union, so that no longer applies. So you're viewed as a non-resident coming into the country, therefore work permit is needed. Now, to get a work permit, you do have to tick off certain criteria. You can't just come in and get a job. That's, that's how you police it. So the first bit was, and the questions around this are, first question is, on the manager must have overall responsibility for the first team. Gracia will do that. That's very clear. Box ticked. Good job. Second one is the manager must hold a UEFA Pro license. Gracia does, or an equivalent. Box checked. Good stuff. And then the other one is the manager must be filling an already vacant role. And as Jesse Marshall left a couple of weeks ago, this role is vacant. Therefore, that box is checked. All good. Okay. The sticking point, however, is in the amount of time and experience he has in a top league. So 36 months of experience in the top league in the last 5 years. I think he's in around 27 months in the last 5 years. So that's the sticking point. But there's an FA exceptions panel that is put together to help with these, but they can only recommend whether a work permit should be granted. They can't actually give one. But basically what they will look for is the manager of the highest caliber and can contribute to the game in the United Kingdom. Now, what the Athletic have said is it is clear that he does check this box of having worked in England in the past and obviously Watford an FA Cup final and a good track record in the Premier League. So he does check that box. That's important, but there's the couple of months in the difference is a sticking point, so it's not squeaky clean. Now, what they've also said is this is not a case of if Gracia gets a work permit. This is a case of when Gracia gets a work permit. So it's not a case of he won't get one. He will get one. It's just a matter of when. Now, the other point with this as well is that he can't take training. Now, I don't know how active the Home Office are with having cameras and spying on people around the grounds, but doesn't stop him from talking to people, doesn't stop him from doing video analysis, doesn't stop him from giving coaches what he wants them to do in the training ground. He can still give Scubala stuff that he wants done his way. So there will still be an influence on this. He might not do the Southampton press conference, but I would be surprised if you don't see a difference in the shape of the team in the lineup based on the fact that he will have some input into this. And, he might not be in the middle of the training ground, but he can still create the training, give it to people. And, I'm not working here. I'm just in a hotel. There's lots of things that can be done. There's lots of ways around this. So I wouldn't worry about it. Moving on, let's talk about Leeds and Everton have both been charged over a little scuffle last week. Been charged by the FA with a failure to conduct their players correctly. They have until Monday to answer the charge. The interesting bit in this was Weston McKennie got involved with it and also picked up a yellow card in that incident. Weston McKennie's picked up 3 yellow cards in the last 4 games, and he needs to be careful as to not walk himself into a suspension. That's something we can't afford to lose players at this point. He needs to tidy that up and stop getting involved in everyone else's scuffles and just get out of the way and worry about himself for a little bit. So that's that. Update on Rodrigo. So Rodrigo has been speaking a lot this week about everything, about the club, the new manager coming in, and his injury. And basically what he said was that the initial time frame for his injury was to come back after the international break. And it looks now like he has said that he will be back before the international break, which puts him slightly ahead of schedule, which is great to see and good news. Need him back. We didn't need him back. So, okay, that's that one. Box checked. Move on. Cool. Leeds ladies, they lost 3-2 last night or yesterday to the Stockport County ladies. 3-2 defeat, goals from Woodruff and Brown for the Leeds ladies. It's a bit of a hiccup for Rick Passmore's side, who have had a pretty good season this year, has to be said. And you hope that they can just bounce back from that and keep moving forward. So fingers crossed that happens. So unlucky to the ladies team, and fingers crossed they get a better result next time out. Right, let's get to the main story, 49ers and what's gone on here. 49ers, so basically what happened here was the 49ers were extremely involved in the appointment of Gracia. They were said to have flown into Leeds after the process wasn't going the way they wanted it to go. The Athletic have reported that Gracia impressed the 49ers significantly in his analysis of Everton game and Southampton games and what Leeds could do to fix things. So that was important. Contact was made with Gracia after the Everton game. That clears that one up. Outside of the rumor that Rodrigo was speaking to him 2 weeks ago, he may have talked to him, but there was no initial approach made about the job until after the Everton game. But it said that he very much impressed everybody, significantly impressed the 49ers and everybody else on the board, which led to his appointment. You're starting to see a sign of more and more influence from the 49ers coming into things. We've seen the winter transfer window influence. You've now seen an influence in the management situation when they're not happy with the process and how that's going. So that's all positive stuff. And it's starting to signify that the more involvement that's there, close to this takeover is coming to happen. There was a lot of people in the comments yesterday said that they'd be surprised if this takeover happens at all, and it's not going to happen. Let me reassure you, it is. So let's get into this. The Athletic have claimed that intense talks have taken place between Leeds and 49ers Enterprises, and an agreement is in place for a possible deal. The word possible comes in because the possible part is the fee. That will all depend on where Leeds are at the end of the season. If Leeds are in the Championship, the fee will be renegotiated to a lesser fee. If Leeds are in the Premier League, it's that 400 million fee that's been talked about up until now. There is a clause in the contract that says that the deal must be done before winter next year, which means it looks very, very likely that deal will go through this summer and at the end of the season. It just depends on where Leeds are in terms of the fee, but the takeover will happen and will go through. In terms of net worth, the York family are estimated to be worth in and around £2 million. You add that to Pete Lowy, who's estimated to be worth 3 to 4, 5 even billion pounds as well. That's a lot of money in there in that pool. To put that in context, Rodrigo is ranked to be in and around net worth wise 3 to 400 million. So it's a significant bump up. It would put Leeds in the top 7 owners net worth in the Premier League, which is significant. Just got to make sure we stay in the Premier League, and that's the important part there. And then finally, just to finish up today, and to say the voice of football as far as I'm concerned, and the bulk of my life growing up was John Motson, and John Motson sadly passed away. So rest in peace to John Motson, a huge, huge part of a lot of my generation's football. I associate football with his voice. So a sad day for everybody, and thoughts and prayers go out to John Motson's family and relatives and everyone involved with him. So rest in peace, John, and thanks for your contribution to football. Folks, that's going to be it for me. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your day. Bye.